All right, we're live. We're live on YouTube. Now let's get live on Instagram. All right. Praises due to Allah. Okay, we're live on both ends, man. Instagram and YouTube. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I brought witness that there is no God but Allah. Muhammad is His messenger and exalted Christ. And I further brought witness that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the extension of the Son of Man. I would like to greet every brother and sister with the greeting words of peace, which we say in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum. Peace and blessings, family. This is your brother, Knowledge 5845 on the ground, author determined to change. Winford X, of course, student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, by the way of the eternal leader, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. We could never thank Allah enough for appearing in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever. I pray to Allah God that every brother and sister is fine and well. This Monday morning, praises be to Allah. Brothers and sisters, I want to be able to share a few words of wisdom with you, if I may. This past weekend, we had a beautiful time, man. We was all invited, the FOI, the Fruit of Islam, the military of the Nation of Islam for the men. We were all invited to come to Chicago to have a private FOI class with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I thank Allah for allowing me to be in attendance. Man. You know, so many things that we were able to listen to in this private meeting by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. But one thing that I will say is that it was a spiritual cleansing, and you know, just to see the brothers, just to see brothers coming from all different walks of life. Yes, all praise is due to Allah. Yes, sir. It was a pleasure, brother. Yes, indeed. Lovely, man. It was like Savior's Day. It just wasn't no MGTs there, you know, no women. And let me just say, I want to thank the sisters. I want to thank the MGT sisters for and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for sure. He's definitely the priority for looking out for the brothers, showing us mad love, allowing us to have salmon croquette sandwiches, fried fish sandwiches, veggie sandwiches with that famous bean soup. It was very, very good. We had bean pies. We had the whole nine. So we thank the sisters. We thank the MGTs. May Allah continue to bless every last one of our sisters for preparing that beautiful meal for us that we had. We listened to the minister for 4 or 5 hours. And honestly, man, we could listen on and on and on. And just let me just say this: to be in front of a man in a statue of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, I want y'all to hear me good, please. To have the right understanding of what God is and who God is and how God functions in his reality connected to the human being, it's no other feeling. It's no other feeling to have the proper understanding of a being that possesses power and force. I'm going to say it again. There is not a feeling that you could have with the understanding of knowing and understanding a being that possesses power and force. So once you understand how a being can possess power and force, this is being able to draw back to yourself and you're able to open yourself up to the reality of your own existence of power and force. Man, it was a beautiful demonstration. FOI class. The minister called FOIs from all different walks of life, from in the States, from different countries and different islands, and brothers came from all over to receive the instructions of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And before we went in, one of the main conversations, one of the main dialogues, when we were standing in line, I could just hear every brother saying, you know, man, we about to get a chastisement. And that was one of the things that I was thinking too, all the way to Chicago, man. You know, everything that's going on right now in the media, dealing with our brother Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, what's going on with our brother Kyrie, what's going on in other places, other things that are going on, right? And I thought the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was about to give us a chastisement, man. I just really did, and everybody did. Everybody was thinking that, man, we about to get chastised. But it wasn't that at all. It wasn't that at all. And man, you know, just to hear our student ministers, I want to definitely give praise to our student ministers that had words of wisdom for us, had encouraging words, words of inspiration, words of determination, words of statue, words of reconfirmation of who we are, the importance of FOI, the importance of being a soldier. Our supreme captain, student minister Mustafa Farrakhan, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's son, our big brother, our supreme captain. To hear his words resonate, to hear his words, man, you know, it was nourishment, you know, to hear our brother Hawk, the truth, from a student minister from New Jersey, Miles 25, I believe, to hear our brother, brother Nuri Muhammad and the student minister from New York. All of the brothers, man, was man, it was amazing. Walaikum salam, brother Jorge X. It was amazing just to see brothers that we're family, we're brothers on social media, and to see these brothers in person, to see the smiles, to see the love, to hug these brothers, and to literally see our brothers in person. You know, it's not about how much money you had. It's not about, you know, how much money you didn't have. It's about anytime we come into each other's presence, we are in the eyes of Allah. We are in the presence of Allah. There is no big eyes. There is no little U's. When we come into unity, when we come in together, you know, it's always peace and blessings. It's always a real love that you could feel. And I literally felt that. And it was a spiritual cleansing. I needed this trip, brothers and sisters. I'm telling you, I needed this trip. And let me just say this. When you are in the presence of the Messiah, it hits a lot different. It hits different when you are able to literally look at the man of God who God has chosen, who God has raised in this world amongst the wickedness and amongst his chosen elite. To be the leader, to be the father of the earth in our midst, and to be 3 rows away looking at the true man of God. Brothers and sisters, I cried about 10 times. Before the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan came out, I cried just listening to the other brothers, because not only is it just the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, but I'm able to see Allah, I'm able to hear Allah in all of our brothers that spoke. I was able to hear all of our brothers that spoke, the assistant supreme captain, our brother Aziz, hearing him speak, hearing our brothers speak, man, we could all hear the urgency. We could all hear the force and power of the reality of God coming through all these different vessels. And what it was doing to me was, it was reigniting my spirit. It was reaffirming to me that I was in the right place. Come on, y'all. Y'all know sometimes, even when we have the truth, even when we are striving to walk the path, we get down. We go through trials and tribulations. Sometimes we go through things to where we feel like giving up. Just because we are in the teachings don't mean that we don't feel, you're a human being. You feel just like anybody else. You suffer. You have pain, long suffering like anybody else. You have down days. You go into darkness like anybody else. But the difference is, this is the difference. The difference is when you are privileged to be invited to come in front of the Messiah and to hear his words of comfort. God did not bring you here to chastise you. I want y'all to hear me. Oh, this filled my heart. This filled my spirit. God did not bring you here to chastise you. God brought you here to forgive your sins, to wipe away your sins, to give you a clean slate. You in attendance. Oh, come on. Do y'all know how good that felt? To hear the Messiah, the friend of Allah, say, God did not bring you here to chastise you. Listen, we start thinking about our personal life, a spiritual revival. We start thinking about all the things that we know we're not supposed to be doing and the things that we know we're supposed to be doing. And to hear God's chosen man say, God did not bring you here to chastise you. He brought you here to forgive you. There was a heavy load lifted. There was a heavy load lifted. As I searched around the room and looked at other brothers, I could see tears coming from brothers' eyes. I could see brothers jumping up for joy. I could see brothers just in amazed. And to have that invitation to me, for God to say, come and be a part of this. Oh man, it's like no other. So brothers and sisters, I just want to say that for all the brothers that came, praise be to Allah. There's a lot of brothers that I didn't get to see. It was so many brothers, man. It was so many brothers. For the brothers that did not get to come, may Allah continue to bless you. May Allah bless you if you looked at it on satellite or streaming, however you were able to see it. Praise be to Allah. But brothers and sisters, I cried again when I heard the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan speak about our brother Ye, formerly known as Kanye West and Kyrie. When the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, those are our brothers. He said, I defend them. He said, those are our brothers. I defend them. When he said that I didn't agree with everything that Ye said, he said, but the brother apologized to the black community. We should forgive our brother. Who are we not to forgive our brother when the slave master has done much worse? And we forgive them every second of the day. We forgive them every second of the day. But who are we to turn on our brothers. His exact words, Kanye West, Kyrie, those are flesh and blood to us. Oh, that resonated so much. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he don't miss. His words are guided. His words are directly from the exalted Christ. It is the exalted Christ that is coming through him, feeding us the milk that we need, feeding us the meat that we need, feeding us the comfort, feeding us the reality of understanding so we can all get back on one accord. Oh, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is so sharp and so intelligent. He was touching on certain things that we had in our minds, and he was touching them. And he was giving us the best guidance, the best solutions. It was beautiful to hear the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in his strength tell the ADL, come on out. Leave our brothers alone. The imprecatory prayers are being released. Oh, man. You should have, man, we went wild. To see the Messiah in his spiritual, to see him in effect, to see him moving in his spiritual power, utilizing his spiritual power directly from the exalted Christ and from Allah himself being poured into him at that time. As the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was speaking, he just said, and the imprecatory prayers have been sent out to the synagogue of Satan. Oh my God. That was something amazing to feel. Let alone seeing how I was always studying the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, his expressions. I was looking deeply into his expressions as he was talking to us, different expressions, and I'm seeing how his voice was roaring with thunder. We're talking about a man who's 89 years young. 89 years young, brothers and sisters. Be patient with your brother, man. I want to be able to go into some things with my brothers and sisters this morning, if I may. I don't want to be too long. But as I was on the plane going home, I started studying and I started reading, and the Spirit of Allah took me to some literature that I've been studying, and I have to share this. The inspiration in my spirit, I have to share this with my brothers and sisters. I have to get this out of me to share this. Because if you're not registered, if you're not in the Nation of Islam, but you are a sympathizer, meaning that you gravitate towards what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is saying, you believe in the truth that's coming out of his vessel. You are doing your due diligence. You are studying. You are seeing the things. You are seeing prophecy unfold. You are seeing divine revelation come through a man. This was a motivation to get back to studying profusely. This was an inspiration to study to show thyself approved, to not just study for 5 or 10 minutes, but to wake up in the morning, like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said. And he said, study for about a good hour. Get you a good hour of studying in. Oh, man. Praying. We need that reminder. That reminder is a blessing to the believers. And especially coming from him, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he knows the condition and the time of where we're at in the changing of the world. See, we say it all the time. Oh, yeah, we're doing this. We're changing world, this and that. But to hear it from one who we know is qualified, it sounds different. It feels different. It looks different. So I want to read something to you, if I may. Oh, my brother, Dr. Wesley Muhammad, praise be to the God. I'm always in amaze to see him. I study his expressions. I study his movements like I studied the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Even though he did not speak, his aura, his movements, I've always admired that brother, that man. And I'm always studying him, and I watched him just to be in his presence, just to know how he defends the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, how he defends the nation, how he defends our brothers, how he defends the truth, how he digs deep, mathematically, scientifically. You have to know that that's from God. You have to know that the same God that is backing the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is backing all of us when we are in accordance. So we needed to see that. I'm sure that I can speak for all of my brothers. We needed to see our research team. We needed to see our E-team. We needed to see the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. We needed to see one another. We needed this. It gave us strength. So I want to read something to you, family. That's prophecy that we have to understand. And if we don't understand this, then there's a great possibility that we can get left behind. It's a great possibility that we can lose focus and veer off, and we will think that we're still on the path, but yet be way away from the path. So listen to what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said. He was having a dialogue with our brother Jibril Muhammad, the angel Jibril. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, our brother, there is no God but Allah. The minister said, so the God wisely chose a people. I want you to listen. He's talking about us. Listen, family. This is what we're going through right now. This Kyrie Irving situation, this Kanye West situation. Listen to this. So the God wisely chose a people that were empty vessels. He didn't have to empty us. We didn't have any wisdom in us. This is true. Look at the condition of the black man and woman for the past 465 years. There is no other description in the scriptures in the Bible that fit a people. That God told Abraham, your seed will be in a strange land and will serve other than me, meaning God, Allah, the Supreme. They will serve another master for 400 years. That prophecy is an identification of you and I here in America, the black man and woman. There is no other people in history that fits that description. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan say, so the God wisely chose a people that were empty vessels. The empty vessels mean that we were an undeveloped people. We are still an undeveloped people as a whole. Look at our condition. He didn't have to empty us. We didn't have any wisdom in us. Then he begins pouring into us that truth that's embodied in the idea of the idea of the new heaven and the new earth that is embodied in our lessons. This is why I tell you, family, this is why it's important. This is why as FOI, we go out and you see us with the Final Call newspapers, and we're striving to use the social media. We have different people, FOIs and MGTs and brothers who are not registered, sisters who are not registered, but have the Spirit of God in them that receive that truth from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, that is always striving to get that message out to more brothers and sisters to bring us in so we can get closer and closer, so we can get into the lessons. The minister said the idea of the new heaven and the new earth that is embodied in our lessons. So that means that in our lessons, that means that we have to study. That means that we can't just have the Spirit and say, oh yeah, and we be hyped for 10 minutes. And then all of a sudden it goes away. In order to keep that spirit lit, that means that we have to get into the lessons. Over time, the dissatisfied will come to the truth, put in a form that appeals to their childlike minds. But as they mature and grow, the idea will grow in them. Stop right there. I want to say that again, family. Over time, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says, over time, the dissatisfied will come to the truth. Look at the dissatisfaction in the condition that we are in as a people. We are dissatisfied with what we're seeing out of our brother Kanye West, how they're crucifying our brother. We are dissatisfied when we see how they're doing our sister Brittany Griner in Russia, 9 years. We are dissatisfied when we see how they are sacrificing and crucifying our brother Kyrie Irving. What did he say wrong? The brother is very articulate. Kanye West is very articulate. These are articulate individuals. They're speaking the truth. The prophecy is being unfolded. The prophecy is being revealed. We are in prophecy right now, brothers and sisters. The title of the live is Recognizing Prophecy and Beating Prophecy. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says that we have to beat prophecy. How do we beat it? By recognizing the prophecy. We have to recognize and identify us in the scriptures. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gave an example many years ago. He said if we all take a group picture, once the picture is developed, who's the first person you're going to look for in the picture? You're going to look for yourself. But if you can't find yourself as the picture develops, it's something wrong. That means that we have a lack of knowledge, of awareness of ourselves. So therefore, when we're reading the scriptures, Bible, Quran, in order to understand and how to identify ourselves, we have to get into the lessons. We have to get Message to the Black Man. We have to get Fall of America. We have to get Our Savior Has Arrived. We have to get How to Eat to Live Part 1 and 2. We have to get the secret relationship between blacks and Jews. We have to get how Jews gain control of the Black American economy. Listen to this, family. One learned man is harder on the devil than 1,000 ignorant worshipers. This is what it says. One learned man. This is what we're seeing. We're seeing Kanye West. We're seeing our brother become learned. And we seeing our brother Kyrie Irving become learned. And we have even our own kind that is put up to the task to go against our brothers, calling them idiots, degrading our brothers, but yet embarrassing and degrading themselves, sacrificing themselves for evil wickedness in high places. That's the fear. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, it is not the white man that hold us back. He said, it is the fear of the white man that continue to hold us back while we're afraid. Our brother LeBron James has come out and had certain choice words to say against our brother Kyrie Irving. Brothers and sisters, the pressure from high places of wickedness is real. Now, it's easy for us because a lot of time we are in our emotions. It's easy for us to say, oh man, so-and-so did this. Oh, he's a coward. Oh, he's a slave. Or he's this, he's a Uncle Tom, and he's this. That may be true. But the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan teaches us and gave us instructions and said, be careful. Be careful how you go in front of, because even them, those are still our brothers and sisters. That's still our family too. So we study the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and see how he responds. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says, don't allow your emotion to respond directly. You respond indirectly because we have to remember that we were all taught by the same slave master. See, we don't put it on our brother because we know that they're using him as a tool. And our brother that's being used or our sister that's being used, they may even know that they're being used. And they may even agree to be used. But we have to remember this. We were all taught by the same slave master. So a lot of times we're judging from a position from emotion. Yes, we're tired of it. Yes, we want to come into the unity. Yes, we want to be able to see our brothers and sisters hold hands, and we want to be able to come into unity, and we want to become independent of ourselves. We want to be able to do for ourselves. We want to be able to say, listen, we are a nation within a nation. That's coming. Don't you see it? It's already here. But just like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad told him that God in person of Master Fard Muhammad told him 300, no more than 300 will be sacrificed, meaning the righteous, and God would destroy them from the face of the earth. We would not lose 300 in this war. I want you to think about that. We're talking about 400 million of the colored man being on the earth. I want you to hear me, family. 400 million of the colored man being on the earth compared to 4.4 billion of the original man on the earth. And we're talking about the battle in the sky, the battle for the mind, God versus Satan, righteousness versus wickedness, submission versus rebelliousness. And we are giving confirmation that we would not lose more than 300. 300 compared to the 400 million that they have. What's the actual count of the evilness and wickedness of them? I don't know that. Only Allah knows that. But that's not my concern. My concern is to be a student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, to be a student, to utilize this social media, to utilize this technology in the best of ways, to be able to reach and teach our brothers and sisters, to wake us up. So once you hear this, you receive this, you can tell someone else, and then they tell someone else, and then they tell someone else, and it's a domino effect. All praise is due to Allah. So listen, family. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says, over time, the dissatisfied will come to the truth, put in a form that appeals to their childlike minds. But as they mature and grow, the idea will grow in them. So this is what we're witnessing. We're dissatisfied. So now, in our dissatisfaction, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad has taught us that the only way that we can come into a change is by being dissatisfied. Once we're dissatisfied, see, God is always on the side of the oppressed. See, those that are dissatisfied, he raises one from the condition of being dissatisfied. See, the brains and the minds start working together. We start seeing that, hey, wait a minute. Yes, I'm a Christian. Yes, I'm a Muslim. Yes, I'm a Jew. Yes, I'm a Moor. Yes, I'm a 5%er. Yes, I'm a Hebrew. Yes, I'm a spiritual this. Yes, I'm an Egyptologist. Yes, I'm this. Yes, I'm that. But wait a minute. Our condition is the same. When we see them crucifying our brother, that is not only affecting the Black Christian man and woman, that is affecting the Black Muslim man and woman, that is affecting the Black Jew man and woman, that is affecting the Black Hebrew man and woman, that is affecting the Black Moor man and woman. It is affecting all of us to see this. And Satan is not bowing down. So we have a decision to make. I want you to hear me, family. We all have a decision that we have to make. We are in the valley of decision. We remember reading the scriptures. We remember mama and grandmama and them reading scriptures to us, but we never thought that they were really coming to fruition. We never understood that we was right in the middle of those scriptures. But we are. We're in the middle, family. Listen to what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says. He says, it's in their DNA. In every generation, getting them closer and closer to what the God envisioned. A nation of gods. What we seeing our brother Kyrie Irving doing, he's a God. He's waking up. And he said that I don't have to be alone. I'm not alone in this. He said, I'm not afraid. I'm not alone in this. I have brothers and sisters that are with me, and you do. Just as Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, you're not alone, brother. You have a nation that's behind you. But I will say this. See, God does not care about our emotions. I want you to hear me right now, family. Please. God does not care. The way that the formula and the function is set up, God does not care about the emotion. It's all about the intelligence. It's all about removing wickedness and evilness and correcting error, removing error. It's not about the emotion. So I'm speaking to my brother, Kyrie Irving. I'm speaking to my brother, Ye, formerly known as Kanye West. Brother, you have to start paying attention to the guidance. And the guidance that the whole world can see is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan with the Nation of Islam. You can take it or you can let it alone. Don't be in your ego. Don't be in your pride. We have to study this man. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says, you don't judge a man by the status of his friends. You judge the importance of a man and the importance of, you don't judge a man by the importance of his status of his friends. You judge a man by the importance of his enemies. You think that Adidas and Balenciaga and all the rest of these J. Morgan Chase Bank, you think these people stripped away all of this from our brother Ye because of what he said about George Floyd? No, sir. No, ma'am. Nike strips Kyrie Irving away from his contracts, take away his shoe, trying to crucify him and degrade him. But what they're doing, they're trying to show the rest of the black men and women. We're going to make them an example so you won't try this. It's a fear tactic. We want to show you what we're going to do if you even think about doing this. Matter of fact, they take it a step further. They start calling out their elites. LeBron, what do you think about this? Huh? See, you can't just be quiet. You can't just be quiet. See, God is moving all of us to make a decision. See? You can't just be quiet about it. Oh, I'm just going to, I don't want to have nothing to do with it. Not so. You are an elite. You are a role model to the world, to this billions off of you. See? So therefore, there's no way you can stay in the background. I hope they don't. LeBron, we need you to come forth, sir. Come on. What do you think? See? And they're going to pick them off one by one. So they force them to say things or have choice words to say against their brothers. But the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said that justice lays down with you and justice wakes up with you. Don't think that they're not having a hard time. Just because their status on the surface of what we see, oh my God, he's got money, he's got this, he's got that. Yeah, but what about when he lays down at night with himself? That's the reality of God. That's the reality of truth that none of us can run from. So all of us have that we have to go through. So we have to make a decision. So listen. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, we're in like the door. That's the best way I can describe it. I am the door, Jesus said. Well, the door means you exit out of one thing and you enter into another. I want y'all to listen, please. You're exiting out of one thing, Exodus, 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 Exodus. See, we got to study. Exodus, you're exiting out of one thing and you enter into another. We're transitioning from an old world to a new world. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, but in between the transitory state of going from one to the next, he said that is the most dangerous part of transitioning, going from this to that. Why? Because that's when we're most vulnerable. That's where all the decision is made. In order to become new, you have to make a decision. We all have to sit back and look at ourselves in the mirror and make a decision. Okay, what do I do? Do I live in truth? Do I strive for the truth? God has given us an example in front of us and showed us when you hold down, when you hold to the truth, no matter how you're persecuted, I'm going to back you. This is God speaking. I'm going to back. God has never lied. He showed us in his perfect example. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. A lot of us wasn't born to see the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad move around and escape it. We wasn't born, but we're here now to see it in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And watch this. Man, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has 89 years young. When the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad departed, he was what, 78? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is 89. We're at the time of the end of one thing and in the beginning of another. And that's a very dangerous point, because you can go either way. This is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan speaking, family. This is not words from me. This is from the chief himself. You could fall backward into the old in the difficulty of pursuing the new. Or if your heart is the right material, you'll be strong enough to enter the door, close the door on the old, and remain fascinated and fascinated to the new. Now let me scroll down. Listen to this. He calls it, he says, so Michael, I want y'all to stay with me. We on here today. I want y'all to be patient. We on here today. So Michael comes right in the start of the new beginning. We're talking about the angel Michael. I want y'all to listen to this. We're talking about the angel Michael, right? Who's the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, by the way. So Michael comes right in the start of the new beginning. He is called a protector of his people, a great prince, a champion. He is divinely placed in the position that he occupies. He's put in this position right in the, I'm trying to think of the word. This is Brother Jabril speaking. This is him and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He's interviewing the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And this is Brother Jabril. This is the angel Jabril speaking. He's pulling out of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. See, the angel Jabril, he has an assignment. He has an assignment as well. If you know anything about the angel Jabril, the messenger of Allah, in the scriptures, Bible and Quran, Jabril, the angel, he has a mission just like we all do. But he's pulling out these things out of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for you and I. I'm trying to think of the word. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says nexus. It's called the nexus. He says that's it. The nexus. This makes it stand, produce what the books say it would produce. According to the work of scholars in Strong's Concordance, a major part of his name means who is God. Did y'all hear that? We're talking about the angel Michael, the protector. Part of his name means who is God. Now we have the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in our midst. So now we're asking, who is God? I want y'all to hear me. Who is God? We all been taught a certain tradition, a certain ideology of who God is, of what God is. But where did we get it from? Who taught us what God is? Do we understand it? Look at our condition as a whole. Do we understand who God is? We talked a little bit about this on the phone when you were in Atlanta a few weeks ago. This is the brother Jabril talking to the minister. When I raised the question, why would a man be given a name that's defined by a question? I want y'all to listen. He's asking the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, why would a man be given a name that's defined by a question? Listen to the words of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Because what he does answers the question. See, it's about action. See, for a long time, we being students of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we've been telling our families, our brothers and sisters, about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. But even our family reject us. They turn us away. Oh, he's a hater. He's a bigot. He's anti-Semitic. Yeah, what do you know? See, we so afraid to research. So we say what our slave masters say. Oh, they said he's this. And so without our researching, without our proper studying, without doing our due diligence, just out of fear, we repeat what the slave masters say because we don't want to make him mad because this is how I've built my world up. This is why you see our celebrities, our athletes. Kyrie is hanging on a tree by himself. Kanye West in the hip hop industry hanging on a tree by himself. Why? Because the wickedness in high places says you better not get out there. Because if you do, you're going to hang right beside him. That's how powerful the so-called Jews, the synagogue of Satan is. They're that powerful. So it's sickening. It's sickening to see our brothers. It's sickening to see how we can create songs and rap songs and talk about how hard we are and how this and how that and how street we are. And I'm a thug and I'm a super thug and I'm a this and I do this to you and I kill you and I do all this to you. I grab the chopper and I run you down and you understand me? I kidnap your kids and woo, 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 woo and all that. We talk tough. But when it comes to injustice, hanging our brother, crucifying him so the world could see, there is no voice to be heard. But there is a voice that is roaring like thunder, as the scripture says, the Son of Man. See, there is no denying, brothers and sisters. I've been telling my family, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the Son of Man. Oh, yeah, whatever. And you're straining your mind because you lack the understanding of what prophecy is. See, little old me, 15 years in a federal penitentiary. What do you know? You've been locked up half of your life. You've been locked up half of your life. You've been locked up since you was 19 years old. What do you know? See, that's how they treat you. When God chooses you, that's how they treat you. They throw you away. I want y'all to hear me, family. I want y'all to hear me. All praise is due to Allah. This is going to be, I said it, I didn't want to be long, but I don't want to miss nothing. I want y'all to stay with me. I don't want to miss nothing. He says, he's talking about the name Michael, because what he does answers the question, because everybody believed that there is a God. Now listen to what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan say right here. He says, because everybody believed that there is a God, most everybody believed that the one who created the heavens and the earth and all therein is the God. And that's true. All of us say, oh, I believe in God the way I want to believe in God. Praise be to Allah. You have a right for that. Does that mean that you're correct? Not at all. Do you have a right? Absolutely. But see, one thing that intrigues me, one thing that I'm attracted to from the Nation of Islam, it's not just about conversation, it's documentation. They explain and they show and prove. And they bring proof, just like the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, I can show you my God. He said, who is this mystery God? Show me your God. He said, I can show you my God. I can show you my God. Those are heavy words. Those are heavy words. Anytime you come out your mouth like that, you ready to go, you ready, you are confident, you are for sure, you just don't believe, but you have went from a stage of belief to living in it to knowing. No one has ever been able to debunk the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. No one has challenged him, just as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. No one has challenged him, and they will not challenge him. If you notice, they never call the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan a liar. They never call our brother Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, a liar. They never called Kyrie Irving a liar. They never called them liars. They never said, prove to us what you're saying. Huh? They never said, prove to us. They only forcing saying, you got to talk to this person. You got to talk to the Jews. You got to talk to this person. Oh, you got to go sit in this. You got to go donate 500,000 over here. You got to go sit in this class. Oh, you got to take a class of training on anti-Semitism. You got to do, but they never said to him, prove to us what you're saying. It's everything is their rules. Huh? They want us to be sycophants. They want us to sit there. You're not supposed to talk in this remission. You're not supposed to say anything at this particular time. All you're doing is listening and obeying. Is that understood? See, Jesus said, I'm in the world, but I'm not of it. Who do we know that we can see in real time that is in the world, but is not of it? And they cannot touch. I want y'all to hear me, family, please. We have to mature, and we have to start looking at the reality of what's being done. It's talking about the angel Michael, his name. Why would a man be given a name that's defined by a question? That's a good question. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says, because what he does answers the question. Because everybody believed that there is a God. Most everybody believe that's the one who created the heavens and the earth and all therein is the God. Most everybody in the world understand and has felt and been manipulated or moved or destroyed by the power of the ruling powers of the present world. Is he lying? That is true. That is true. As they see the present world in trouble, and they see that they too are in trouble, and in a time of trouble, everyone starts calling on their God. Isn't we all calling for God right now in the condition that we're all in? Having in the U.S. Constitution that a black man is 3/5 of a human being, Oh, we're calling on God. We're looking at the injustice in the court, in the courts. Oh, we're calling on God. We're seeing injustice. We're seeing police brutality all over, year in and year out. We're having to teach our unborn generations. We're having to teach our young generations. Our single women are in fear for their children. They're pushing the LBGT plus Q, whatever else the letters are, to be a norm. You can't say anything about that. The so-called Jews are behind that. Satan is alive. Satan is working. We have to make a choice. Recognizing prophecy and beating prophecy. As the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says, we have to beat prophecy. How do we beat it? By recognizing it. That's how we beat it. Recognize it and move out on it. Recognize it and move on it. As they see the present world in trouble and they see that they too are in trouble, and in a time of trouble, everyone starts calling on their God. This is as it was with Jonah when he was in the ship and the waves started battering the ship. Everybody started praying, but their prayers were of none effect until they found Jonah in the ship. This is very important. This is very important. This is a very important piece of prophecy that we have to recognize right away. We talk about Jonah. Jonah was the only prophet that was able to give another 300 years of grace to the people, an extension that God gave him from the prayers of Jonah. I want y'all to hear me, family. The only prophet that got an extension of 300 years of a grace period. This is as it was with Jonah when he was in the ship and the waves started battering the ship. This never happened. When you read that in your Bible, that never happened. This is prophecy, meaning that what we're reading, this is you and I. This is happening right now. That never happened. This is a prophecy for us to identify ourselves now. Everybody started praying. How many of us are praying right now from the things that we're seeing? The economy is down. The injustice is all the way up. We got a war bubbling with Russia and Ukraine, America in the middle of it. We got a war here dealing with the black man and woman. We got a war of the enemy that is fighting for the minds of our young generation and our unborn generation. And they're fighting us with fear tactics. You want to stay a millionaire? You want to stay a billionaire? You better be quiet. You better not help you. You can't help him. We are afraid. We are afraid. We will stay silent. We are afraid because, man, I'm a billionaire now. I got millions of dollars. Now, see, like I said, it's easy for us to look at on our level and say, oh, man, turn that down. But when you literally have more money that you can ever spend to do whatever you want to do, at any given time, you can take you and your whole family and say, hey, look, let's go on a vacation for a whole year. Let's go on vacation for 2 or 3 months. Let's just go spend money. We can go anywhere in the world you want to go, and I can make that happen for you. I want us to be able to think about that. I want us to be able to really think about our life changing. You got to remember this. those that have turned their back on their own people, they was once in the condition that we were in. But just like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, one man cannot rise above the condition of his people. Well, we see that with our brother Kanye West. We see that with brother Kanye, billionaire, 6 to 11 billion. But that's an example that the wicked people in high places saying, we don't care how much money you get. We don't care how much money we give you. Your skin is your sin. Huh? And at the same time, God is in control saying, see, you see how I'm using Kanye West to show you that it's not all about the money. It's bigger than that. There's a war going on between righteousness and wickedness. And we have to make a decision. So for our brother Kanye West and our brother Kyrie Irving, they have hundreds of millions of dollars to make a stand like this. Oh, praise is due to Allah. All praise is due to Allah. God will reward you, brother. God is showing you that their world will come down. And as their world comes down, like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said to Kyrie and our brother Kanye, come home to your nation of Islam. Come home to the truth. Oh, man. That's the truth. And that's true. Listen. It says, this is as it was with Jonah when he was in the ship and the waves started battering the ship. Everybody started praying, but their prayers were non-effective. Did y'all hear that? Their prayers were non-effect until they found Jonah in the ship. It says that their prayers were not in effect. So just think about this. All of us are praying. But if we're praying in all of these big churches, in all of these big communities, we're praying to God, oh God, oh Jesus Christ, speaking in tongues, doing all that, falling out, hitting the tambourine, dancing around. Oh yeah, Lord. Oh, I feel it. I feel it. What good does it do in the reality if the money to keep the church up is being bagged by Satan himself? Y'all didn't hear me. This is why the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, it is better to separate. Separation is better than prayer. A lot of people said, oh my God, did you hear what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said? These was our Christian brothers and sisters. The minister said that separation is better than prayer. Nothing is better than prayer. Be quiet. Be quiet. Because we're speaking from an emotional point of view. We're speaking from an emotional position. When the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is speaking from an intelligent position, he says, what good does it do to continue to pray in a cesspool? What good does it do to continue to pray and you're praying in the house of your enemy? Like that's going to change the reality. Oh, come on. So we have to separate. Separation is intelligence. I didn't say segregation. I said separation. Segregation is when you're over here, but you're still being controlled by an outside entity. Huh? You're being controlled by an outside entity, not segregation. See? We're not talking about segregation. See, when we didn't want to segregate anymore, we wanted to speak about separation and the enemy in high places. The opposition said, oh, integrate. Let's integrate. No. See? And the ignorance of us being deprived so long. Oh, yes, let's integrate. Oh, we can finally be with white people now. We've been proven now. We've been accepted now. I heard Brother Reza Islam say something that was so profound. He said, the more you become a millionaire and the more you become a billionaire, he said, that's more slave masters in your bank account. Oh, come on, Reza. Brother, that was powerful. The brother said, the more money you have in your account, millionaires and billionaires, more slave masters you have in your account. They up the ante on you. The more money that you get, the more rules you have to abide by. We see that going on right now. It says, but the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, but their prayers were of none effect until they found Jonah in the ship. Then they asked him to pray. Then when he prayed, see, they're asking the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan to pray. Minister, can you pray? Every time something go on, they're asking, what did the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan say? What is he saying about Kanye West? What is he saying about Kyrie Irving? What is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan saying about the vaccines? What is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the nation saying? See, your spirit is bearing witness, but your ego, your pride is going to send us to destruction. Oh, I want to know what the minister said, but I don't want to be caught with the nation. I don't want to be caught with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan because my mama said, and my grandmama said, and CNN said, and Fox News said, and MSNBC said. So I don't want to be caught with them, thinking that you're doing God a favor. Not so. Not so. Not so. Not so. Then when he prayed, because he knew the God was after him, it was effective. So it was in his prayer that brought peace to the troubled waters. Did y'all hear me? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has sent an imprecatory prayers. Imprecatory prayers. Woo! If you was in attendance, you heard it. If you was in attendance, you felt it. Imprecatory prayers down on the synagogue of Satan. Hands off Kanye West. Hands off Kyrie Irving. Oh, the Messiah has spoken. So when we have these conscious platforms that are speaking down on our brother, don't do that, brothers, sisters. Don't speak down. They belong to us. The brother apologized for what he said about George Floyd. The brother apologized. What else more do you want? This man is breaking new ground. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has already paved the way, of course. But one who's, see, those in high places, they don't come at the Nation of Islam like they do the common black man and woman. Why? Because they know that what we're feeding on is training us, and what we're feeding on is building us, and they're saying that's a problem. But in the meantime, let's continue to push the fear to the common black man and woman, those who are saying that they are Christians, those who are in the mega churches. Let's continue to use the fear tactics amongst them because we know what they're reading and how they're understanding it is not sufficient. It's not going to change the condition. It's not going to change their reality. But the more and more they push the fear tactic, the Nation of Islam is growing and growing and growing. And we're still moving around. We still have the technology. We still have the advancement of technology, the social media, to speak to our brothers and sisters. The younger generations are coming into the Nation of Islam. They cannot stop this. Truth stands alone. God is present. You see these unidentified flying objects, but we know that they're baby planes coming from the mother wheel that was built in 1929. Huh? All praise be to Allah. Boy, this is heavy. This is heavy. In closing, it was Jesus' prayer when he was in the boat with his disciples, and the waves and the winds came up and they were so afraid. They awoke him. He stood, looked at them and said, "Peace be still." The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan had to come back out. Oh, what the minister saying? Oh, we're praying. Look at what's going on over here. What's going on over there? People calling me. What the minister saying? DM and other brothers and sisters. What the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan saying? Come on out. Huh? It was Jesus' prayer when he was in the boat with his disciples, and the waves and the winds came up and they were so afraid. They awoke him. What is the minister saying? Minister, can you come out and speak to the people? Farrakhan, can you come speak to the people? He stood, looked at them and said, "Peace, be still." And the waves calmed and the winds calmed. And then he looked at them and said, "Oh, yea, of little faith." Come on. Look at our celebrities. They're afraid. But everybody is saying Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior. How? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, "We talk Jesus, but I represent him. I'm the true representative of him." The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, "Don't tell me that you love me more. You cannot love me more than I love you." Oh, come on. That's heavy. He's not trying to chastise us by saying that. He's really telling us how to understand what love is. We use that word loosely. I love you. He said, "I live this. I live this every day of my life. I die every day so you may live." So how can you love me more? Don't say that. That's a good teaching. That's a good teaching. Well, they were with Jesus. I want y'all to hear this part, and we're going to close. And we're going to get on with our day. I want y'all to hear this. Well, they were with Jesus, but they still did not know the power that he had. See, we don't know the power that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan exercises from the exalted Christ and from Allah in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. We don't know. We still think it's a show. We still think it's entertainment. No, man. When we got the call, come on out. Come to Chicago, FOI, active members, come. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan will be addressing us. He will be speaking to us. Oh, come on. I have to be there. I don't give a damn what's going on. He coming out, I got to make it. I don't care what I got to do. I can't pay this. I can't pay that. Shh, man, listen. I got to walk out on faith. I got to go hear what the Messiah has to say. I have to be in attendance. Yet and still, we see the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, but we don't understand the degrees of power that he possesses. Well, they were with Jesus, but they still did not know the power that he had. Now listen to this. I want you to hear this. They was with Jesus, but they didn't know the power that he had. Now watch this. And the potential power that they had. Oh, come on. That's talking about you and me, brothers and sisters. We don't know the power that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan possessed, and he's been showing us time and time again how he's been whooping the backside of the United States of America. He's been whooping the backside of the wicked people in high places. They've been trying to get our brother to apologize for a long time. Apologize for what? Please. For what? As long as we're standing on truth, what am I apologizing for when y'all know that y'all are deceiving? You're dead wrong. You're trying to continue to control the people with deceptive intelligence. The deceptive intelligence has run out. Now you're only using force. You know you're wrong. You ain't never called the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan a liar. That's the word, anti-Semitic. They don't never want to sit down because they're not a Semitic people. They were born in the Aegean Sea, made rather, on the island of Palan, the island of Patmos. It's in the scriptures. They know this. Europe is not their homeland. Europe is not their original land. That's where we marched them across the desert, 2,200 miles from the land of Arabia, causing trouble amongst the righteous. 6 months, the land, the Holy Land, turned upside down because of the bickering and all the deceptive whispering and all the tricks and lies amongst the righteous people, division, separation. Look at them now. Have they changed? No, they have not. Look how divided we are amongst one another. They put their top stars and top slaves on TV so the whole world can see. Now denounce him. Now that we've crushed him, we want you to crush him so the world can see our power. Your influence, talking about big time slaves, your influence, you have 120 million followers on Instagram. You got 50 million followers on Facebook. You got 100 million followers on Twitter. Now you go forth and show them that your brother is wrong when they know he's right. Well, they were with Jesus, but they still did not know the power that he had and the potential power that they had. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, what we see him doing, we can do the same. We have the same access of power that we see him manifesting from the two that is backing him. You think the Minister Farrakhan has got to this age to lie, to continue to put on a show, for this to be entertainment? His stand should then answer the question, who is God? So today, Michael's stand ends the confusion. Michael is the angel. Michael is the angel of war. He's the protector. Huh? Because no one is willing to go where he's willing to go. I'm going to say that again, and we're going to close out. Brothers and sisters, Stop acting like you don't see prophecy unfolding. Stop acting like you see another person who's speaking boldly, like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, in the world. Who else is speaking up loudly and bold and coming to the aid of Kanye West? Who else do you see speaking loudly and bold who's coming to the aid of our brother Kyrie Irving? I ain't talking about indirect stuff. I ain't talking about, oh, I understood what he said, and maybe he didn't understand what he was saying about offending these people. And then no. We're not beating around the bush, going straight to the source. ADL. Come on out. Let's deal with it. Let's deal with it. The secret relationship between blacks and Jews. Come on out. Come on out. How Jews gain control of the Black American economy. This didn't come from the Nation of Islam, us making this up. This came from Jewish rabbis and monks and scholars. This came from their own telling the truth about a party of them who say that they're Jews, but they're not Jews at all. They are the synagogue of Satan. This is a disguise that Satan has used to control the world. So today, Michael Stan ends the confusion because no one is willing to go where he's willing to go, because in a time of trouble, people want to hide from the attacks of the enemies of their rise. Who else is? Everybody is running. Everybody is hiding. Ain't nobody helping Kanye West. Ain't nobody helping Kyrie Irving. All these people, my dog, you my man, you this, you that. Oh, I'm loyalty over, loyalty over women and this and that. And we talk this talk. We talk this, man, put the beat on, man. These are my dogs, and I die with my dogs. And we do all of this, and it sounds good. We up in the club pouring liquor out. Oh, this my nigga, and man, you my dog forever. And man, I die for my dog. I lay my life down, and all this old type of stuff. Woo, 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 woo. It's all entertainment. It's all entertainment. It's tricks and lies, family. That's what it is. It's tricks and lies. We are afraid people. You don't see nobody doing what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is doing. You don't hear nobody open their mouth and their voice come forth roaring like thunder like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Find one. Find one. So, brothers and sisters, I'm going to end right here, but I have more that I want to go into. But I want to respect time. I want to respect everyone's time. We're going to go and we're going to get off into this. Maybe later today. Maybe later today. I don't know. I have to go to work. Later. Maybe tomorrow, inshallah. I don't know. But if there is anything that I've said that has rubbed anyone the wrong way, that is not my true intention at all. But if there is something that I said of benefit, understand that it comes directly from Allah through me. I am a student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and I'm striving to help him wake our people up so we can understand, man, to put the fear behind us, no matter what they bring to us. If we put our trust in Allah, we see the one who Allah has put in front of us as an example. And if we can do what he's doing, putting the faith of the truth that's backing him to human beings, not no mystery, not no mystery. We're talking about two human beings, just like you. Two human beings. They eat, they sleep, they defecate, they urinate. Huh? They have feelings, but they mastered the laws from their minds with intelligence. So, brothers and sisters, I leave you with this scripture in the Holy Quran, chapter 7, verse 146. And the title of it is The Elevated Places. It reads, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I shall turn away from my messages those who are unjustly proud in the earth. This is Allah speaking. I shall turn away from my messages those who are unjustly proud in the earth. And if they see every sign, they would not believe in it. And if they see the way of rectitude, they take it not for a way. And if they see the way of error, they take it for a way. This is because they reject our messages and are heedless of them. This is talking about Europeans for sure. But not only is it talking about Europeans, it's talking about the black man and woman as well. So brothers and sisters, we have to be mindful. We have to be careful. Huh? This is a warning. I heard the minister say a few years back that 2 calls went out. It was a warning for the European. And it was a final call for the black man and woman. A final call and the warning call. The warning call is to destroy the white man and his rebelliousness in his nature, to remove his wickedness. Then the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said the final call is a warning to you and I. A final call. It's some cushion in there, because God knows that it wasn't us who turned ourselves out. We was turned out by a wicked people. So God is kind of giving us a little leeway, saying, But the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the clock. He's the watch. He's the one that we should all be focusing on and watching and listening to. I want y'all to hear me, family, please. I know we want to be conscious. I know we want to be, I'm black conscious this. I'm black conscious that. Peace, my brother. Black queen this and that and all that. Satan can do all of that. But we have to start understanding. I don't care where you're from, how you was raised. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is the voice of God. You don't see nobody coming to Kanye's defense. You don't see nobody coming to Kyrie Irving's defense. Who have you seen call out the ADL? But the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And we stand for sure with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in the Nation of Islam. Brothers and sisters, may Allah continue to bless every last one of you. We have to make a choice. Recognizing prophecy and beating prophecy. So if there's anything that I've said again that rubbed anybody the wrong way, that's not my true intention. But if there is something that I said of benefit, understand that it comes directly from Allah through me. We can't play around with the scriptures. We can't play around with prophecy. We can't play around with divine revelation. It's time to make a choice. So with that being said, I greet you in the greeting words of peace, which we say in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum.